here at the campus of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois. My name is Terry Bonadonna, here to bring you some USF Volleyball, the Fighting Saints and the Trinity Christian Trolls in a very big game. It is the semifinals of the CCAC tournament. St. Francis comes in with a record of 28-11. They went 16-3 in conference this year, earning the number 2 seed in the conference tournament. Trinity Christian 26-13. They also went 16-3 in conference play this year, so they actually were part of a three-way tie along with Olivet Nazarene for the top of the conference, but due to tiebreak procedures, St. Francis gets the 2 seed, Trinity Christian gets the 3 seed, and here we are, Trinity Christian playing the visitors today as St. Francis gets home court advantage, and that could be huge in what figures to be a very tight matchup today. Winner of this one goes to the conference championship on Saturday night and to the NAIA National Tournament. A win today for either one of these teams locks up that bid in the national tourney. So there is a lot on the line this evening as we get set to begin proceedings. The Trolls will serve first in light blue tops and dark blue bottoms. The Saints are wearing gold tops and black bottoms. They're on the right side of your screen right now. Tori Mantell for the Trolls serves from the left, and we are underway as Alyssa Breidelman is blocked, but straight out of bounds for a point to St. Francis. 1-0. The Saints take the first lead of the night. Look at the starters tonight. It includes for Trinity Christian, Michelle Busker, Tina Massey, Tori Mantell, Krista Veenstra, Rachel Verage, Danielle Overman, and Casey Stull. They're going to try to score right here, but Brooke Hartnell there for the stop, and now a mess at the net, and an illegal touch by St. Francis to tie it up at 1. You've already met a couple of the Saints. Let's hear the rest of their starters. Leah Ellis, Jessica Carlo, Amber Casey, Alyssa Breidelman, Kelly Gould, Brooke Hartnell, and Jade Livesey-Gork. The starting 7, including libero. 1-1 were tied. Good looking pull shot there from Casey Stull, the sophomore from Lombard, Illinois, gives Trinity Christian their first lead of the night at 2-1. And it also will keep the serve going for Rachel Verhage, senior from Moses Lake, Washington. Serving from the left side, the jump serve is away. Played by Leah Alice. Here's Breidelman. Alice is good. Oh, it's not. It's to the ground before Mantell can get to it. Good kill there for Breidelman. We are tied once more. Our score is 2-2. Back and forth start to this game. Fast-paced. Both teams with some solid early attacks. Now the Saints will try to get defensive, and it's a block by Breidelman. Back over, and a solid dig by Leah Rose. Brooke Hartnell gets it to the back line where it's played by Michelle Busker. There's Stull, picking up the kill. To the back corner, Brooke Hartnell was there to try to make the stop. She was able to get her hands on it, but couldn't direct that hit as it went out of bounds. So point to the Trolls and a 3-2 lead. Third time these two squads have matched up this year, so they know each other very well as Michelle Busker gets the serve. Jade Livesey-Gork can't get the kills. Mantell digs it out. And Amber Casey will let it go out of bounds for a Saints point. We were tied at 1, we were tied at 2, and now we are tied at 3. As the Saints try to reclaim the lead, Danielle Conrad back to serve. Conrad, the senior from Darien, did not get the start today, but in there very quickly. Starting is not all that crucial. Plenty of subs coming in and out. Perinar. Good dig by Mantell. They'll have to bump it over, and a free ball for the Saints. Conrad to Carlo. Jessica Carlo gets the point. It was blocked by the Trolls, but out of bounds. And USF does indeed go ahead, 4-3. Still, of course, very, very early in this first game, but it's their first lead since it was 1-0. Stoll plays it softly, and Brooke Hartnell is not fooled. Perinar gets it down. Jenna Perinar with the kill, 5-3. Jenna Perinar, a junior transfer, having some early success in her first year with the Saints. and her first CCAC tournament. Good diving dig by Hartnell, but there's nobody else there to fish it out. Didn't get enough air into that one. Jessica Carlo tried to make the play, but just a little bit slow getting over. The point goes to Trinity Christian. Their deficit is once again only 1, and Danny Van Layton will go back to serve. Carlo dinks it over, nearly out of bounds, but played by Busker. And Joanna Nowicki can't quite direct that one, as Trinity Christian gets the point. So we are now tied at 5. We've been tied 4 times already, only 10 points into the game. Joanna Nowicki Herenar geared up. It was blocked, but the second effort goes over and down. Tipped at the back line and out of bounds. Saints back ahead. Kelly Gould, who started tonight, back into serve. Pushes it to the left side. And a very powerful serve there from Danielle Overman. Junior out of Michigan ties the score up at 6. First kill of the night for Overman. And that gives Tina Massey a chance to go back and serve. Brooke Hartnell blocked, out of bounds. Saints point. St. Francis led at 1.5 to 3. It's the only time either team has had a multiple point advantage. Trying to do it again right here. But Danielle Overman has other plans. She lofts it softly over the net and finds the soft spot right in the center of that defense. And we are tied yet again. 6th tie of the game. Which is rather incredible for this stage. A low line drive serve, but Hartnell's able to get to it. And now looking for the kill. It's tipped at the net, but down for a St. Francis point. Amber Casey comes in for St. Francis. Early on here, very similar look to this game to the one that we saw the last time that Trinity Christian was here, not all that long ago, just about a month. October 13th, they pulled off the upset win. That ball hits the line. It may have been tipped anyway, I'm not sure, but it did nick that line, so it's inbounds for a Trinity Christian point. And at 8 to 8, we already have our 6th tie of the night. Still in the first set here. Early going of a big-time semifinal matchup. Out of bounds. The serve from Tori Mantell goes a little bit too far. And in a game like this that's as tight as it has been and figures to continue to be this tight, those unforced errors are going to be huge. Very much magnified on a night like tonight, and that was a big one to give St. Francis the lead. But they pick up the tie once again, Trinity Christian that is, as Rachel Verhage drops it down on Brooke Hartnell to tie the score at 9 points apiece. Verhage gets the point, and now she gets the serve from the left side. Powerful build up and a strong finish from Jade Livesey-Gross. St. Francis is again in front. They have not trailed in quite a while here, but they haven't been able to open up a big lead either. Tina Massey is tipped at the net. Macy sets it over, and she gets the point. Brilliant deception from Amber Casey. Trinity Christian was looking to play one of the outside hitters, but the setter pushes it right over the net. And a nice diving effort as well by Michelle Busker. She deserves a lot of credit for the defensive play. No help coming though. Point to St. Francis as that ball went over the net and was played anyway by Trinity Christian. That's 3 in a row for the Fighting Saints. The game's longest run and our game's biggest lead now at 12 to 9, Fighting Saints. Leah Rose's serve is played first by Busker. And now Casey Stoll looks for the point. But Leah Rose is able to play it out. And set up the kill for Joanna Nowicki. 5 timeout called by Trinity Christian. The Fighting Saints lead 13-9. It's the biggest lead of the night for either team. We've seen 7 ties already in this game, a couple of lead changes, and up until the last 2 points, the entire game had been played within a 2-point margin. Saints led at 1.5-3, but other than that, it had been a 1-point game in either direction, or tied the whole way. But now it's 13-9 as the Saints have gone on a 4-0 run. Third time these two squads have matched up this year. This is the rubber match tonight. So pride is on the line, although that's the least of what's on the line tonight. Trip to the conference championship game, home court advantage in that conference championship game, and a guaranteed spot in the NAIA tournament. All at stake tonight. The winner of this game will host the championship on Saturday, because these are the 2 highest seeds remaining after Olivet Nazarene was upset by Indiana South Bend on Tuesday night. More on that a little bit later. Right now, let's get back to the action. Saints lead 13-9. Out of the timeout, it'll be Leah Rose to serve. Casey Stoll, led by Brooke Hartwell, straight over the net. Now Mantell sets. Nancy finishes strong. Timeout pays off for Trinity Christian as they get right back onto the board. An assist there for Tori Mantell. She entered play tonight with 1,145 of them for the season, or just about 9 per game. She is the reigning setter of the week in the CCAC. Nowicki taps it over, and Mantell's there to dig. Stoll over, played by Leah Ellis. Nowicki plays it softly once again. Stoll does the exact opposite, a missile right back at Leah Ellis. Jay Littlefield finally ends that rally with a good strong kill. Into the corner. Saints back in front by 4, matching their largest lead of the night. Here's Danielle Conrad to serve. A short one, but it is played, pushed over by Overman. All too appropriately, I guess. And there's a double hit. Trinity Christian trails by 3 as Danny Van Layton goes back to serve from the right side. Conrad sets. Carlo tries to finish, but Van Layton comes away with the dig. However, off the net, Tori Mantell can't control it. Point to the Saints. And once again, they match their largest lead at 15-11. The senior Kelly Gould serves from a standing position in the center. And that's an awkward set from Mantell, trying to get it to Tina Massey. Massey indicated that perhaps she was to blame for that one. Doesn't really matter who you assign the blame to. It's a point to the Saints. Now just 9 away from taking a 1-0 lead in this match. Pushed over by Mantell. Brooke Hartnell, good dig on the other end. Now Massey, out of bounds. Saints are starting to pull away. 17-11. Blocked by Jessica Carlo. Carlo's block makes it a 7-point St. Francis lead. Now on a 9-2 run to break open a very tight contest. Still a long way to go. Kelly Gould serves. Tina Massey pushes it over, but that's Brooke Hartnell. Perinar blocked, kept alive by the Trolls. Massey dinks it in there. Nice job by Tina Massey. Stop that bleeding for the Trolls. And now they'll try to make a big run late into this game. They need to outscore the Saints 13-5 the rest of the way to win this game conventionally. conventionally. That drops in front of Kelly Gould, an ace for Tina Massey. And now the Trolls are trying to get things started. For Massey, the 26th service ace this year. This time Gould plays it. As does Hartnell. Good St. Francis crowd tonight trying to cheer their school on to the NAIA tournament. It'll be their 11th appearance in school history. Leah Alice serves. Verhage gets it over, right back to Alice. Brooke Hartnell's tipped at the net. Ball dropped. Point to the Saints. They get those 2 points right back. And once again, they're up by 7. Soft serve by Alice. Verhage steps up and plays it. Overman taps over the net. Hartnell is blocked, right back to Conrad. Perinar tipped at the net. Trolls keep it going. Overman is blocked by Breidelman. Now Breidelman sets it over. Verhage looking for the kill, but Alice is there. Perinar is blocked. Great volley here. Over. And nice play by Leah Alice. But it comes to an end on a mistake made by the Saints. Alyssa Breidelman called for the double touch. Trinity Christian trails by just 6. There's the serve from Sarah Bushrow, her first of the game. Perinar gets it over and down. Donna Perinar. 21-14. Amber Casey, the sophomore out of Mother Macaulay High School, back in to serve once again. Blocked at the net, just a Veenstra shot. Verhage now. Gould sets up, Livesey Gore gets in bounds. No, it's not. Out of bounds. Thought that one got the line. My mistake. Trinity Christian gets the point. Very close call right there, but the line judge was right on top of it. Tori Mantell picks up the ace. Big ace right there. 60th ace of the season for the senior from Gainesville, Florida. Breidelman pushes it over, played by Tina Massey. Livesey Gore taps it down. Nice play by the freshman. Saints just 3 points away from a first set victory. Trying to put Trinity Christian in an odd spot, down 1-0. Blocked at the net. Tina Massey's able to play it. Right down again by Breidelman. And the point to the Saints. There's a little bit of miscommunication there. The point goes to Trinity Christian. Breidelman was called for a net violation, but Trolls were bailed out because they did have some miscommunication that led to what looked like an easy kill for Breidelman. She went into the net. Good dig by Leah Alice. Over from Breidelman. Hartnell gets it up in the air. Alice keeps it alive. What a thunderous applause. Volley's still going though. There's no wiki, tipped at the net. Pushed over by the Trollers. Breidelman. Not down yet, Busker makes the play. Blocked again, good volley. And anytime you see a great defensive play like the one the Saints just made with Cardinal and Alice combining to make what seemed like an impossible stop. The crowd is just sitting on the edge of their seat from that point on until the end of that point. And when the home team picks it up, that's the biggest cheer you're going to get over the course of a volleyball game. Always a thriller. And it was a thrilling point right there for St. Francis. Now 23-17. Not insurmountable, but the Trolls need to go on a big run. They need to do it right now, because St. Francis is just 2 points away from a first set victory. And I said it'd be an unfamiliar spot for Trinity Christian to be in. These are not only the top 2 teams in the conference, they're the 2 hottest teams in the conference. Trinity Christian has not lost since October 14th. They've won 11 in a row, and during that time, they've only lost 5 sets. During the 11-game stretch, 6 times it's happened in straight sets. And 5 times in 4, they haven't been carried to 5 sets per point. In fact, they haven't gone to 5 sets way back on October 4th against Olivet Nazarene. So for them to lose even a single set has been kind of a stunner recently, although it did happen in their last match. In fact, it's happened in their last 4 matches, but to go down 1-0, in an unfamiliar position. And the Saints are trying to put them in that spot right now with Leah Rose set to serve, looking for 2 more points and the victory. Massey gets the kill. Rose could not come up with the dig there. Nice shot by Tina Massey. Rose still alive here. Michelle Busker back to serve. Up to the front is Joanna Nowicki. Harlow got that off the side of her hand and almost paid off. Blocked, kept alive by the Trolls. Massey, short, and Amber Casey is there. Now Jade Livesey-Gork. Tapped over, good diving dig by Casey, and over from Nowicki. It was that one out of bounds. Good serve. Point to the Trolls. Trinity Christian is trying to make a game of this one late. The back's still against the wall, but they trail by only 4. Harlow, dug out by Mantell. And a solid kill. Picked up by Casey Stoll. And now St. Francis wants a timeout. 23-20. It's a 3-0 run for Trinity Christian. Saints still need just 2 of the next 5 points in order to wrap up a first set victory here. But the last time that Trinity Christian was here, there was a game similar to this. In fact, it was the 3rd game of what would turn out to be a straight set victory for Trinity Christian. Saints were up big late. They saw the lead collapse and they fell to the Trolls 26-24. So you know that is at least partly on the mind of Kara Courier right now as she talks things over with her team. They still need to make just a couple more plays to go ahead 1-0, which would be a huge start. Out of the timeout, Michelle Busker still serving. She's won back-to-back points from the serve. Nowicki the first to touch that ball. Now Carlo. Out of bounds. It is tightening up considerably in here as the Trolls now have scored 4 consecutive points. Busker from the middle to serve again. Again it's short, and it's Jessica Carlo to play it. Nowicki. Casey Stoll, dug by Alice. Now Livesey-Gork runs into Tori Mantell. And Overman hits it into the net. That's a big mistake. Trinity had all the momentum. They were trying to make a game of this. And Overman turns around and hits it into the net, meaning the Saints need just 1 point here from Danielle Conrad to take a 1-0 lead in the match. Overman gets it inbound. Trolls' hearts are still beating in this first game. They're looking to get 2 more points in a row here to force extra time, more or less. Served by Van Layton. Nowicki tips, kept alive by Busker. Verhage finds Brooke Hartnell on the other end. Now Nowicki for the win. It's played by Busker. Blocked and down, and the Saints pick up the victory. 25-22 in this first set. It wasn't always pretty, it wasn't always easy in the end, but the Saints come away with the 25-22 win here in the first set. So they are 2 away from a trip to the NAIA tournament. Second set coming up shortly. Saints beat the Trolls in the first one, 25-22. Getting set to start game number 2 here in this best-of-5 match at the University of St. Francis. Terry Bonadonna with you on play-by-play tonight as the Saints look for a berth in the NAIA tournament. We clinch it with a win tonight, as, however, and Trinity Christian. So both teams are all out today. First set, 25-22 win for St. Francis. The leaders for the Saints, Brooke Hartnell had 4 kills. Carlo Perrinar, Lidisek Rourke all had 3. For Trinity Christian, Casey Stoll led the way with 5, Peter Massey had 4. Leah Alice had 8 digs, Brooke Hartnell 7. Tori Mantell had 8 for Trinity Christian. Michelle Busker had 6. 9 assists for Tori Mantell to lead everybody. Danielle Conrad had 7 for the Fighting Saints as we are underway now in the second set. Saints get the first serve, and Amber Casey gets it over the net. They're saying it hit the ground first. Yeah, Alice trying to argue the call, but Trinity Christian will get the first point. Well, the Saints this year, 22-3 when they win the opening set, so they're in pretty good shape right now, up 1-0 in this thing. Breidelman taps it over. Michelle Busker makes the diving play. Amber Casey returning that one. And Alice picks it up in the air, but it lands right in between Breidelman and Hartnell. Neither one can play it. Trolls get the point, and for the first time all night, they've got a 2-point lead. They never were up by more than 1 in that first set. And in fact, once the Saints took a 10-9 lead, they never trailed the rest of the way. That's hit out of bounds by Tina Massey. Nice effort, but no result. 2-1. Actually, they were tied at 9, and then the Saints went on a 4-0 run. They led the rest of the way, but the Trolls never held a lead beyond 3-2 in that first game. Here they lead 2-1. That's how sets, and Veenstra finishes. Trinity Christian gets the point, 3-1. Trolls will get the serve, and it'll be Rachel Verhage to handle it. There's Livesey Gork. Nowicki hits it over. Alice, good dig. Hartnell, and Nowicki runs into the scorer's table trying to get to that ball. Just a little bit shaken up, but he's okay. Not a great pass right there. And it results in a Trinity Christian point. Breidelman down for the point. So Breidelman puts the Saints back on the board. Here's Leah Rose into serve. Casey Stoll, held up by Rose and Casey. Now Breidelman pushes it over, and a nice diving play made by Mantell. Stoll again. This time it's Hartnell playing it for the Saints. Livesey Gork. Looked like that ball was ticketed out of bounds, but Stoll played it and a gift to the Saints. Let's see if Carlo can take advantage. She does indeed. Jessica Carlo brings the Saints back to within 1. 4-3 the count. First to 25 here in the second set. Leah Rose gets another serve. Tapped over by Veenstra. I don't think Veenstra did that intentionally. It looked like she just mistimed her jump a little bit. But she made the most of the situation and tapped it into no man's land. 5-3 Trinity. Carlo picks up another one. No, she doesn't. Out of bounds. Another close call, but it goes to Trinity Christian. They're up by 3 now. A nice effort by Carlo, but just wide by inches. Joanna Nowicki is blocked by Casey Stoll. First block of the game for Trinity Christian, and it gives them their largest lead of the game at 7-3. I should say it's their first block of the match, not just the game. And their largest lead of the match as well. Carlo. Nice save. And Busker pushes it over. Credit Mantell and Verhage on the save. But this time Carlo does pick up the kill. He knocks it right into Tori Mantell. Get the Saints back on the board and snap a 3-0 Troll run. Danielle Conrad will serve. Casey Stoll sneaks it in there. Nice looking kill shot there from Casey Stoll, just barely found the end line. And again, the Trolls are doubling up the Saints. To the Saints. Danielle Overman thought that it had gone over, but she's called for the net violation. The Saints get the point, down by just 3, as Kelly Gould comes on to serve. That ball would get down for a Tina Massey kill. Alice not too happy with herself right there. She thought she could have played it better instead of knocking it out of bounds, and the Trolls lead by 4. Hartnell out of bounds. So again, Trinity Christian is doubling up St. Francis. They had the doubled up lead at 4-2, 6-3, 8-4, now 10-5. They now need 2 straight points to make it 12-6 because Jessica Carlo, that's another kill. She's had a very nice second set so far. Yeah, Alice will serve. And Rachel Verhage picks up a strong kill. Back to 11-6. The freshman Sarah Bushrow from way out in California back into serve. She came on briefly to do the same task in the first set. Here's Hartnell, pin down. So the trend of 2 points for Trinity to 1 for St. Francis finally comes to an end. Trinity had doubled St. Francis' score at 2-1, 4-2, 6-3, and 8-4. And 10-5, but not at 12-6. Now perhaps St. Francis has broken through a little bit. They'll try to go on a little run of their own. Good start as Mantell knocks it into the net. Trying to get a little bit tricky, and maybe a little bit too tricky. She didn't have enough on that one. She could not get it over. And it's only a 3-point deficit now for the Saints. As close as they've been since it was 8-5. What's the call here? A net violation against the Fighting Saints. So Trinity Christian gets the point. A big one for them to slow down St. Francis, who had scored 2 consecutive points, 3 of the last 4. Breidelman is blocked. Verhage and G-string on that one. It was Rachel Verhage who got her mitts on it. 5-point lead for Trinity. Yeah, Alice knocks that out of bounds, but Amber Casey is there to help her out, and Brooke Hartnell gets it over. Verhage pushes it down for Trinity. Brooke Hartnell tried to make the diving play, but was unsuccessful. So now the Trolls are starting to run away again as they look to even up this match at 1 win apiece. Hartnell is blocked. Breidelman does a nice job of keeping that alive. A very defensive position that Breidelman doesn't often find herself in, but a nice play. And now Leah Alice gets it back over. A good defensive play by her. That ball hits the line. Just got the edge of the line. Point to the Trolls, and a timeout called by Kara Courier. St. Francis looked for a while like they were on their way to an easy first set victory, even though typically nothing comes very easily against Trinity Christian. The Trolls went on a big run late in that first set. They ended the game on a 5-2 run. It was 23-17, but they ended up falling by only 3 points, 25-22, really making the game good. And ever since then, they've been on a roll. You include the end of that first game, they've scored 20 of the last 30 points in this one. And they've got a big lead here in game 2. Coming in, this looked like a 5-set match for sure between 2 very evenly matched teams. 2 teams that have played each other twice before and have played very, very tight games in each of the last 2 occurrences. So you knew even after St. Francis got off to such a strong start in that first game, it was never going to be a cakewalk, and it has proven not to be one. Breidelman picks up a kill coming out of the timeout. St. Francis back on the board. That ends a 4-0 Trinity Christian run and puts Brooke Hartnell back in the server spot. Verhage will get the kill. Brooke Hartnell kept it alive initially. She knocked it off the basketball net, which is not out of play, but it would have had to take a wacky bounce to get back in a playable position for the Fighting Saints, and it didn't. Livesey Gork dug out on the other end by Verhage. Battle at the net and kept alive by the Trolls. Casey pushes it over, but nice recognition by Busker to make the play. And it's pushed down by Krista Buestra, who gets the point. Trolls lead by 8. Really starting to pull away here. They had the lead this entire game. Not yet insurmountable, but getting close. As Allie Bridleman throws it down to pick up the 10th point of the set for St. Francis and make sure that the Saints are still alive in this thing. Leah Rose had a good run of serves in the first game. Going to pull off the same trick here in the second. Diving play made by Casey, but the Saints can't get it over. Maybe Casey hit her head on that one. Rubbing it just a little bit. She's fine, but a tough play when you dive and make that kind of effort and still can't quite work it out. So now it's Michelle Busker's turn to serve. Hartnell with Casey to Carlo, and an illegal hit. Casey got her hand under that. And now the 9-point lead for the Trolls is the largest of this entire match for either team. We're up at one time. Casey sets to Livesey Gork. Off to the side, and a good play by Casey Stoll. Now into the net, Hartnell's able to play it. And the wiki is blocked. Stoll and Overman have their hands on it. I think it was Overman who got her hands on it, but they were both there. And now it is a 20-10 Trinity Christian lead. They are dominating this second set. Nowicki into the net. Getting worse and worse for the Fighting Saints, but they do have the 1-0 lead right now. They've come out a little bit flat here in the second set, but they've got a little bit of time to try to overcome that. And if not, the worst that will happen at the end of this one is a tie. Casey goes into the net. Double touch. Timeout called by St. Francis. So he's getting ugly here, and Kara Courier wants to stop that immediately. And really, the Saints are in a position right now. They're almost certainly not going to win this game. They'd have to go on a Herculean run. If Hercules played volleyball, I'm not sure he ever did. But the point is, they have to really pull off a miracle here to win this second game. So it's not likely they're going to win this. What we saw at the end of the first game, Trinity went on a run. They didn't come back to win the game, but they overcame a big deficit. They made it close, and they carried that momentum over into the second game. So the Saints are in a position where they can try to pull off the same thing. Even if they don't win, they go on a run here, capture the momentum away from the Trolls. That puts them in a good position at the start of the third set. We'll see how this one wraps up as Trinity Christian now just 3 points away from evening the match at 1 win apiece. Michelle Busker back on the left side to serve. She takes a step forward and sends it away. Carlo taps it across. Massey looking for the point, but Joanna Nowicki's there to play. Now Livesey Gork gets a good dig by Verhage. And tapped right back down by the Saints. St. Francis, coming out of their timeout, does pick up the point. So again, Trolls are doubling them up. 22-11. Familiar position in the second game. There's Nowicki. To the back line and Verhage. Casey Stoll looking for the kill, but it's tipped to the net. Brenna Perra gets it down. Back out of bounds by Tori Mantel. Point St. Francis. So St. Francis is indeed trying to go on that run and capture momentum. The Trolls ran on an 11-2 run. Now the Saints have scored 2 in a row. Nice play by Conrad, but you can't get it over. Trinity Christian gets the score. Here's Danny Van Layton. She'll serve from the right, jump serve. And it's length as it goes off the fingertips of Brooke Hartnell and straight out of bounds. Setting up, set point. Danny Van Layton trying to finish this one off in favor of Trinity. Conrad sets to Nowicki. It's played on the other end by Van Layton. Here's Perinar, tipped at the net. Overman to the back line. Nice play by Brooke Hartnell. And Oki's able to push it down and stave off the defeat for at least one more point. Nowicki comes out. Gould comes in to serve. Mantel sets, and Overman finishes it off to earn Trinity Christian a 25-13 win. Dominant set for Trinity Christian. They win by 12, but at the end of 2, it is still a tight one. Tied up 1-1. We'll have the third set coming up in just a minute. We're tied after 2 sets here in the Sullivan Center. Best of 5. St. Francis against Trinity Christian in the conference semifinals. Your leaders after 2 sets. Rachel Verhage of Trinity Christian leads all scorers with 10 kills. Jessica Carlos got 7 to face the Saints. Alyssa Breidelman has 6. Leah Alice, 11 digs for the Fighting Saints. She has got a university record this season, nearing 900 now for the year. Brooke Hartnell, who's 5th all-time on the schools list, has 10 digs today. Assists, 12 for Amber Casey, 10 for Danielle Conrad. Tori Mantel leads Trinity with 23 of them. Speak of the devil, Tori Mantell will serve here to begin this third set. Oh, we're underway. Alyssa Breidelman gets it down to the point. The team that has scored first has won each of the first 2 games tonight. St. Francis is hoping that that is a trend that continues here in the third. Brooke Hartnell serves. Burhage gets it to the back line, played by Alice. Now Hartnell. And Breidelman pushes over. Lacey Stoll, inbound, just barely got the line. And we are tied at 1. Very tight first set, although St. Francis jumped out to a big lead. Trinity Christian came back. It was a 25-22 final. Breidelman down off of Buster for the point. Another kill for Alyssa Breidelman, the team's leader this year. She entered play today with 406 kills for the year, more than 100 more than the next closest on the team, which was Brenna Perinaw at 296. Stoll tipped and out of bounds. That's last touched by the Saints. And it's a Trinity Christian point.
Casey Stoll with the kill, point Trinity.
Second set, not nearly as tight as the first was. Trinity jumped out to a big early lead and they never looked back, ultimately winning by a dozen. 25-13 was our final score. Here it's 2-2. We are ready to go once again. Michelle Busker will serve. The referee had to have a few words with the St. Francis crowd. Being a little bit too rambunctious, I think, nearing the court. Carlo gets it over. Massey is blocked, but right down on the St. Francis side. The Trolls get the point. Tina Massey picks up the kill. And the Trolls have their first lead here in the third set, 3-2. Libero, Busker serves again. A high arcing serve. Nowicki the first to play it. And Livesey Gork the one to finish it off. Freshman from Newburgh, Oregon. Jade Livesey Gork ties the score at 3. Here's Danielle Conrad's serve. A line drive played on the back line by Verhage. Pushed inbounds by Overman. I don't know how the Trolls are doing it. That's at least 4 times tonight that I can think of in which they have gotten a ball on the line. Inches away from losing those points. It seems like they've got a special knack for where it needs to go as Leah Alice can't control that ball. It sails out of bounds. A point to Trinity Christian. And to Danny Van Layton on the solid serve. And Layton will try again. This time Brooke Hartnell was able to play it cleanly. Joanna Nowicki trying to finish it off, but Busker keeps it alive. Over by Tina Massey. And out of bounds on the other end after the diving stop made by Leah Alice. Trinity Christian has opened up a 6-3 lead now. Conrad to Nowicki. Out of bounds. Saints needed that one, they couldn't get it. And the point goes to Trinity. They've extended their lead to a game-high 4. And they pretty much picked up right where they left off in that second set when they ran away to a 25-13 victory. Conrad pushes it over. Nice job by Verhage to keep it alive. Up in the air, it's a free ball for the Saints. See if they can make the most of it. They can. Jessica Carlo knocked it out of bounds, but it was tipped to Connect. And a huge point for the Fighting Saints at the time. They desperately needed one. Here's Kelly Gould on to serve. Tina Massey's strong hit is dug out by Leah Alice. Now Hartnell gets it over. Saints are back to within 2, scoring back-to-back points. Tina Massey pushes it over and Kelly Gould plays it. Here's Perinar out of bounds. That one was not tipped. Point to Trinity. Hartnell is blocked but out of bounds. Saints back on the board and down by only 2. They've gone back to trading points here as we saw early in this one. And a crucial mistake made by Leah Alice right there as she hits it into the net on the serve. Point to Trinity, a 3-point lead for them. That service error committed by Leah Alice, her 33rd of the year. It is the first all night for USF. That grazes the net, but it does get over on the serve. Hartnell is blocked, but she pushes it back across, where Danielle Conrad's able to get it over with help from Brenna Perinar. Alice hits it up into the air, and Breidelman gets it over. Now Veenstra, good by Alice. Hartnell, tipped. Bushrow gets it across. Breidelman, two-handed hit, but it's saved by Van Layton. And down for Trinity Christian. Nice volley, won by the visiting team. They've scored 2 in a row, and their 2-point lead has doubled to 4. That is Alyssa Breidelman catching the Trolls defense off guard. Nicely played by Breidelman. Saints trail by a field goal as Amber Casey gets to serve. Mantell sets up Veenstra. Tapped up and over. Great defense by the Saints. Now Livesey Rourke looking to provide the offense, but Mantell digs it out on the other end. There's a block by the Saints. And out of bounds. St. Francis cuts the deficit back to 2. Earlier tonight, it seemed like they were trading 1 point for another back and forth. Now they're trading 2s. That now blocks it. And it is going to stay on the St. Francis side of the net. Illegal hit anyway. Trinity Christian extends the lead to 3 points. This is the way it's gone. The Saints have cut it to 2 a number of times, but then Trinity always seems to want a 2-0 run. Not this time. Tori Mantell knocks it right into the net. That's the second service error of the match against Trinity. And now the lead is once again 2. It was 2 at 7 to 5, 8 to 6, 10 to 8. Now 11 to 9. Stowe is blocked. Blocked again and out of bounds. Going to the Trolls. Well, as I said, the Saints have been able to cut this deficit to 2 a number of times. 7 to 5, 8 6, 10 8, 11 9, but they have not been able to get that extra point and move back to within 1. Breidelman, nice dig by Busker, but right back over to the Saints. They've got an opportunity here for Joanna Nowicki. Good dig by Tina Massey. And now the Trolls have an opportunity, but Leah Alice comes away with the dig. Pushed over by Joanna Nowicki. There's Massey across to the Saints. Casey sets the ball and Brown gets the deal. So again, they're within 2. They have not been as close as 1 point though, since the score was 4-3. Let's see if they can change that right here. They can't. A strong kill picked up by Krista Biestra. She was tipped at the net before it went out of bounds. Went out the side. Casey to Carlo, blocked, kept alive. Nowicki softly over and blocked right down by Overman and Stahl. Trolls lead is 4. And we've been here a number of times in this third game. Trinity is not led by as many as 5 in this third. Gork trying to keep that trend going, but she's blocked. Gork again. Played by the Trolls, over, and blocked out of bounds. Another point for Trinity Christian. Timeout called by the Fighting Saints. We're in some trouble here. We're tied in the match, 1-1. Trinity Christian has the 15-10 lead in a big third game. These two have seen each other twice before. They were both very close. One win to either side. The road teams won both matches. Saints won at Trinity back on September 8th, very early in the season. That was in 5 sets. So that one came down to the wire, and then the Trolls came here just about a month ago. It was on October 13th. And that was a straight set win for Trinity Christian, which was a stunner against the St. Francis team that had been playing really well going into that game. However, on the score sheet seeing 3-0, it might look lopsided. It was anything but that. It was literally as close as it could possibly be. 3 2-point wins in that game for Trinity Christian. Today they've got a 12-point win already, but they've also lost one. See if the Saints can take a 2-1 lead, trailing by 5. Casey Stoll gets the point on a powerful strike for Trinity Christian. This is a 4-0 run, and it's a 6-point lead for the Trolls. Remember, Casey sets. Gork trying to finish it off. It's tipped to the net by Massey. Now Massey looking for the kill. She's blocked. Pushed over by Verhage. Gork to the back line, and Verhage again. And then Massey is blocked. Blocked by the Saints. Gork and Carlo. We're both in on that. Danielle Conrad will try to give St. Francis a little momentum as they trail by 5. Stoll is blocked. Massey is blocked but out of bounds. Trolls point. Danny Van Layton will serve. There's Nowicki, out of bounds. That was awfully close. But just barely out the sideline. Those close calls just have always seemed to go Trinity's way tonight. Seems like they're just barely finding the line, and St. Francis is just barely missing the line. But that luck tends to even out over time. We'll see if it works out going forward for the Saints. Nowicki kept alive somehow. Conrad to Carlo. Big hit just for Carlo. Right into the face of Michelle Busker. And Busker really couldn't do anything about it. Saints point, Saints serve, down by 6. Kelly Gould will try to get them back into it. Gould sends it right into the net. That hurts. That hurts a lot for St. Francis. They are not at a stage in the game where they can afford to make that kind of mistake, now down by 7 late. Nice hit by Brooke Hartnell as it's knocked out of bounds by Trinity Christian. Hartnell gets the kill, keeping the Saints alive. Alice will serve. Alice leads the team with 43 aces this year. She could use one right here. Blocked. Over from Overman. Perinar is blocked, but it's still on the Trinity side of the net. Verhage across to Leah Alice. Now Brooke Hartnell out of bounds. And that ball is reversed. It was tipped. I guess in a way it wasn't reversed. It was out of bounds, but it was tipped. Last touch by Trinity Christian. Point to the Fighting Saints, and their deficit is only 5. Danielle Overman makes it 6 as she sneaks that ball down just in front of Leah Alice. Here's Bushrow into serve. Low line drive serve, but she gets it over. Breidelman is blocked. And Mantell pushes across. That looked like it was going out. Alice didn't want to take any chances. Nice diving save by Gould. Still on the Saints side. This is Hartnell. Blocked and down in bounds. Big point to the Trolls. They lead by 7. Alice got it over the net. Not the way you draw it up, but it worked out for the Saints. And now it's blocked. Here's Perinar, blocked and into the net. Point to the Trolls. The Saints were a little bit discombobulated there after that wacky sequence that saw them keep the ball alive when they looked like they shouldn't have been able to. They never quite recovered from that awkward possession. Hartnell is tipped it over, out of bounds. Point to the Saints.
On to serve for the Saints, number 3, Amber Casey.
Amber Casey comes on to serve. Verhage is blocked. And Livesey Gork pushes it across. Now Verhage again to the back line and Leah Alice. Hartnell tipped out of bounds. Point to Brooke Hartnell and the Fighting Saints. Saints still alive in this third set. Tied up 1-1 overall. Busker and Verhage pushes it over. Free ball for the Saints. They don't use it. It's knocked right back down. And that was a mistake by Alyssa Breidelman giving the point to Trinity Christian. I think she was trying to pass, but she ended up getting it over the net. And Veenstra did not waste any time in throwing it right back at her. Kill by Casey Stone. Another ball kind of sailed away on an attempted pass from St. Francis. It's set point for the Trolls as they try to take the commanding 2-1 lead. Trying to push the Fighting Saints to the brink of defeat. And they do as Breidelman hits it out of bounds. Point to Trinity Christian. Game to Trinity Christian. 25-16. And we will head to the fourth set with Trinity Christian now leading 2-1 and just one set away from a trip to the NAIA tournament. I'll step aside for a moment. 2-1. The Trolls have the lead. St. Francis is trying to get back into this match. They trail 2-1. Trinity Christian now just 25 points away from a trip to the conference championship game and a trip to the NAIA National Tournament, which will begin next week out in Iowa. Saints need to win back-to-back sets to keep their hopes alive here. Through 3 sets today, Saints are led by Brooke Hartnell, who's got 10 kills, 9 each, for Alyssa Breidelman and Jessica Carlo. 17 assists for Amber Casey. Danielle Conrad's got 16 of them. Brooke Hartnell has 11 digs. Alice Rodriguez away with 19. For Trinity Christian, 12 kills for Rachel Verhage, 11 for Casey Stoll. 32 assists for Tori Mantell. She's also got 14 digs. Michelle Busker's got 13. Danielle Oberman, 4 assisted blocks. That's been maybe the biggest key for Trinity Christian today. They've outblocked St. Francis 7-2. The attacking percentage also significantly higher for Trinity, 302-200. We'll see if St. Francis turns things around right here. The season hangs in the balance. We are ready to get things started. Danielle Conrad gets the first serve of this fourth set. And it's blocked out of bounds by St. Francis. Point to Trinity Christian. These two have played such tight contests all year. It's been weird today. The individual sets have not been all that close. Finishes around for St. Francis to tie the score. Closest we've seen was the first set when it was 25-22, but the final score was a little bit misleading because the Saints were up big for the majority of that game. Trinity went on a nice run late in the set to make it close in the end. Casey Stoll misses out of bounds. And that's a break that the Saints have been looking to go their way all night. It seems like all of those have landed on the line for Trinity. Not this time. Saints take the lead. They have not led by more than 1 point since the first set. Going to take a 2-point edge right here. Brooke Hartnell into the net. And that's too many hits Trinity ties it up. Hartnell, just out of bounds. So close, but the point goes to Trinity, and they are once again in the lead, 3-2. Danielle Conrad to Brooke Hartnell. Nice dig by Verhage, but she can't find a teammate. It's out of bounds, and it's a tie score. Winner of this match tonight hosts the conference championship on Saturday night against either St. Xavier or Indiana South Bend. Out of bounds. Casey Stoll looking for the kill. Their second attacking error in a row, which has been extremely rare for the way this match has gone. And now Leah Alice gets to serve. Hartnell to Danielle Conrad and back to Hartnell. Michelle Busker saves it. Here's Stoll, and this time she gets it in. 4-4, we are tied once more. Casey Stoll's attacking percentage 290 today. That's what I was talking about. It's been very rare for her to make back-to-back mistakes, but she makes up for it with a good solid kill right there. Breidelman taps it over. Busker keeps it going. Nice dig by Gould up in the rafters, and it ricocheted in the opposite direction. It was still in play when it hit the rafter, but it changed direction in the air, and Brooke Hartnell was unable to adjust in time. So the point goes to the Trolls. Perinar. Tip, but still going. We got one more hit to get it over, and Tina Massey will do just that. Now Breidelman, inbound. That's a whistle through. The point goes to St. Francis. So no harm with the whistle. 5-5. Three of these four matches, 3 of the 4 sets I should say in this match, have been extremely tight early. But in each of the first 3, one or the other team pulled away. Remember, Casey knocks it right out of bounds on her serve. So she does not give St. Francis the chance to reclaim the lead. Good dig by Gould off the serve. Breidelman puts a good spin on that ball off to the side, and Breidelman picks up the point. Back and forth we go. Time will tell if this will follow the same path of one team pulling away. But it started similarly to some of the others with a very tight start. Good hit by Alice. But it's an illegal hit, and the point goes to Trinity Christian. There's Nowicki. Blocked. Out of bounds. Tie game. Good St. Francis crowd tonight. On Tuesday against Purdue Northwest, it was a great crowd because Purdue had brought so many fans. And crowds were going back and forth the whole night. Today it's almost entirely St. Francis supporters. They haven't had a lot to cheer since early on. And now they're trying to get into it a little bit. As an attacking error by Trinity Christian to give St. Francis the 8-7 edge. Leah Rose will serve. To the side, Tina Massey gets to it, and now Verhage. Drag on the other end, but out of bounds. Neither team able to go on a run early on here. We're already 16 points into this 4th set, and nothing has been determined. Still knotted up. Jessica Carlo Her shot dug out on the other end by Van Layton. And now it's Joanna Nowicki for the Saints. Verhage makes the play. And Verhage is blocked by Jessica Carlo. Down for a Saints point. And now St. Francis is starting to gain a little bit of momentum. We'll see if they can keep it going with Danielle Conrad going to serve. Sarah Courier trying to get everybody into it. Verhage across to Joanna Nowicki. Now Perinar looking for the kill. He's got it. Right in between Mantell and Van Layton. Perfect placement there from Joanna Nowicki. And the Saints have their first 2-point lead since way back in the first game. Conrad serves again. It's a soft one. Played in the front line by Veenstra. And across for the point. That's Tina Massey. Off the hands of Leah Alice. And down for a Trolls score. Nowicki. Nice dig by Busker. Kept alive and over. Free ball for the Saints. Conrad to Carlo. I thought she was going to Carlo, but Conrad got it over herself. She did not fool anyone that time, though. Trinity was able to play it, and Casey Stoll picks up the game-tying point. Stoll now has 13 kills on the night to lead all scorers. Mantell over and into the net. So that's a point to St. Francis. This fourth game has been as close as can be. And right now the Saints are trying to change that and go on a run. Build up a multi-point lead. Verhage blocked, still going though. Verhage again, tipped, out of bounds. And that one was not tipped at the net as I thought by a St. Francis player. It was tipped by the net. So it went straight out of bounds off of Trinity Christian. And the Saints do have that 2-point lead they were looking for. We'll see if they can make it 3. Another serve from Gould. Awkward hit by Busker, but it's alive. Into the net. Casey Stoll hit it right into the net. He has struggled in his fourth set, attacking in a way that she did not at all in the first 3. And now the Saints are halfway to a fourth set victory. Good serve by Gould, up in the air from Tina Massey. And across. Carlo taps it over, played by Mantell. Verhage across to Leah Alice. There's Hartnell. Busker keeps it alive. Took to the net, diving play by Alice. Carlo sets to Perinar, out of bounds. Not tipped. The Saints thought it was tipped. The referee thought otherwise. Point to the Trolls, and a big one for them. They didn't want to let this game get away from them. Saints had scored 3 in a row. Perinar blocked, out of bounds. Give credit to Brenna Perinar for that kill. He's got 6 in the match. That's a big time kill for Casey Stoll. She's made a few errors in this game as well, but when she gets a good pass and is in a good position to put one over, it is hard to return. And that was the case right there. Casey Stoll picks up a big point. 14-12, Saints lead. Brooke Hartnell tipped at the net. Busker plays it. Blocked, out of bounds. Point to Trinity. Trolls came in today with a 26-13 record. The Saints 28-11, 2 of the very best in the conference. Reidelman is blocked, but right back into the net. Reidelman picks up the point for the Saints. These two teams tied with Olivet and Nazarene for the regular season crown. All three went 16-3. Olivet 23-13 overall entering the tournament. They were upset in the first round. Breidelman trying to throw it down. Busker makes a nice dig. Lacey sets to Breidelman. Down to the point. Three-point lead for St. Francis, courtesy of Alyssa Breidelman. She's got 13 kills to pace the Saints. Tina Massey is blocked out of bounds. Trinity will pick up that point. Olivet lost to the 8th-seeded Indiana University South Bend on Tuesday night. That was the one stunner from the first round, and it really wasn't even all that close. IUSB picked up that big win to move into the semifinals. They're playing out in Chicago right now at St. Xavier, as these two teams play simultaneously. Lacey to Breidelman, over, still alive, cross once again. To say Gork tried to direction that ball to the sideline. It was out of bounds. So the Trolls are back to within one, 16-15. Danny Van Layton serves. Ellie Gould plays it for the Saints. Breidelman down for the kill. Alyssa Breidelman has stepped up her game here in the fourth set, right when the Saints have needed it most. Breidelman has had a huge fourth set so far. Brooke Hartnell to serve, trying to keep the positive feelings going. Massey, played by Hartnell, set into the net. Again, the Trolls are within one. Trinity just 9 points away from a victory, but the Saints have the lead. Breidelman to the back line and out of bounds. Just missed their target. We're tied at 17. Trolls need 8 points to win the match. The Saints need 8 points to send it to a fifth set. Nowicki. Nice diving play by Busker, but she can't keep it in bounds. Saints lead again. Leah Rose will come on for the serve. Junior from Bolingbrook nearly dropped it in front of Massey. That's going to be hit by Hartnell out of bounds. You're tied once more. These two teams playing like the season is on the line, and it is. Sarah Bushrow, the freshman, will serve from the left side. Casey to Carla, she's blocked by Veenstra. I'm actually not even sure that Veenstra got her hands on that one. Carlo may have just hit it a little bit too low into the net. First lead for Trinity in a while. Nowicki to the back line and Massey. Here's Casey to Livesey Gork. She gets it in. Livesey Gork down into the corner. Ties it up. Danielle Conrad will serve. Conrad's got 40 aces on the season, second most on the team. She won't pick one up here. But Carlo does get the block to keep the rally going, and another block. This one for Paranauer. And a Paranauer's block puts the Saints back up by one. And now St. Francis 5 points away from setting up the fifth set, up 20-19. And if they can get it to 5 sets, you'd have to think that they have the advantage. I know past performance doesn't necessarily indicate future performance, but the Saints are 4-3 in 5-set matches this year, including a win just 2 days ago right here against Purdue Northwest. Trinity has not won one. They are 0-4 when it goes to a fifth set. I take that back. They're 0-5 when the game goes to a fifth set, and that includes a loss to St. Francis on September 8th at Trinity Christian. This has been close. This is the type of game we've been expecting all night. We've had 3 more or less lopsided contests, and now this one, much tighter. It's been within 3 points in either direction the whole way. The Saints have had the largest lead at 3. And currently they lead by 1. Neither side has led by more than 1 in a while. Danielle Conrad trying to lead the charge with the serve here, 5 points away from a 4th set victory. Trailing 2-1 in the match. Verhage looking for the point, but Hartnell is there to play it for the Saints. Now here's Paranal, blocked out of line. There's a two edge for St. Francis. That is a big cushion right now. Conrad serves another. Knocked over. Conrad is able to make a desperate attempt to get it over, and beats the hit into the net. The St. Francis crowd erupts as Conrad makes the desperate play defensively to get it across, and then Vinstra, the attacking error for Trinity Christian, to force another timeout to be called from Bill Staple on the Trinity sideline. 4 straight points for the Saints, and now they need only 3 more to wrap up a win and send it to 5 sets. Last time I heard from St. Xavier, Indiana South Bend was on the verge of pulling off another upset. I'm not sure if that one has finished off yet or not. But IUSB led 2 sets to none. St. Xavier had the lead in the 3rd set. That would be another big upset. IUSB, who finished 16 and 21 overall this season, pulled off the upset win over 23 and 13 Olivet, and now today facing a St. Xavier team with 25 wins on the year to 16 losses. The winner of that game will play either here or at Trinity Christian on Saturday night in the conference championship. Means Troy's blocked. Husker keeps it alive. Now Verhage over, played by Nowicki. There's Paranal dinking it over. Massey, saved by Conrad. Good volley. Nowicki for the point. No. Played on the other side by Van Layton. And now Alice keeps it alive for the Saints. Nowicki again. This time it's blocked into the net. Another good point for the Saints. 4-point lead for St. Francis. They are 2 away from the win. Conrad to the center of the court. Verhage gets it across. Tough hit by Hartnell, but Alice there to back her up, and Conrad gets it over. Verhage, an awkward angle, pushes it across. And now Nowicki to the back. Conrad hits the line. And Donald for the point. Big play for Nowicki. And the Saints are on the threshold of forcing a 5th set. Game point right here for Danielle Conrad. Alice up in the air. It gets caught up on the basketball. Goes through the net. It's still alive. Conrad. And Conrad gets it over. Into the net by the defense. They're going to force a 5th set. And 15 more points will determine who gets the automatic bid to the NAIA tournament. Great atmosphere here at the Sullivan Center tonight as the Saints come from behind to win the 4th set. We got one more coming, 25-19 the final here. I'll be back with the 5th set in just a moment. the fifth and decisive set on St. Francis tonight. The Fighting Saints taking on the Trolls of Trinity Christian. The winner goes to the conference championship on Saturday and the NAIA National Tournament out in Sioux City, Iowa. So there's a lot at stake right now. The Saints took the first set, 25-22. Trolls took the next two in blowouts. But St. Francis responded with a 25-19 win in the fourth set. Overall tonight, Saints have been outscored by 12. But that doesn't matter because in the only column that is important, the sets wins. It's 2 for each team. Through 4 sets, Alyssa Breidelman leads the Saints with 14 kills. 14 apiece for Rachel Verhage and Casey Stoll for Trinity Christian, 13 for Tina Massey. Assists, 24 for Danielle Conrad, 23 for Amber Casey. Leading the way overall, Tori Mantell with 41. She's also got 15 digs for Trinity Christian. Michelle Busker's got 20. For St. Francis, 24 for Leah Ellis. First to 15. That's that spot in the championship game. Saints are on the right side. The Trolls are on the left, and they will switch sides halfway through this game. Michelle Busker will serve first for Trinity Christian to get this fifth set started. Mentioned before, Trinity has not won a 5-set match all year. Every time they've gone to number 5, they've lost 0-5. They haven't even played one since way back on October 4th against Olivet Nazarene. St. Francis beat Trinity Christian in 5 sets on September 8th. Busker serves away. To the backside, it's Joanna Nowicki. Carlo trying to get this thing started with a funky shot. That's the Carlo's field with St. Francis. Nearly 1-set lead. Danielle Conrad, who finished off the last game with 5 consecutive points on serves, starts off the fifth. First serve for St. Francis. Verhage tipped and kept alive by Alice. Conrad bumps it over. On the back line, it's Alice again. Carlo trying to pick up her second kill in a row, but she can't. Diving play into the net, kept alive, and pushes it right into the net. She got a little bit too aggressive right there. She had more time. It almost seemed like she panicked knowing they had just one more hit. She tried to throw it over the net and instead threw it right into it. So we're tied at 1. Conrad to Carlo. And that's a point for the Fighting Saints. You know that St. Francis certainly had the momentum heading into this game. They finished the fourth set with a flourish. And so far they've been able to carry it over. 2-1 lead. Kelly Gould serves. Verhage hits it into the net, but it's still going as Perinar looks for the kill. Good dig by Mantell. And a double touch against Busker. And the Saints lead 3-1. Going back to the fourth set, they have scored 8 of the last 9 points. Here's Stoll. And Casey Stoll was kind of due for a big kill like that. She's been quiet for a little while now, and she's able to rear back and fire one over the net to bring the Trolls back to within 1. Rachel Verhage serves from the corner. Perinar, out of bounds. Missed the line by an inch or 2. And that allows Trinity Christian to tie it up at 3. Conrad sets. Hartnell trying to finish. But Tina Massey plays it under the line. Stoll plays it softly and drops it in front of Leah Ellis. That's 3 consecutive points for Trinity, and they got their first lead of the fifth set. Conrad to Carlo. Diving play, Mantell. Out of bounds. Not tipped. Lacey Stoll shot. Goes out the side, and we're tied once again. Fifth straight set that has had an electric start with both teams going back and forth. Massey out of bounds and not tipped at the net. St. Francis has the lead again. We get Ellis back to serve. Busker steps up to play that ball. Stole over and down. We are tied. What else is new? Sarah Bushrow comes on to serve. We haven't seen much of her. She's come in for some big points. Conrad to Breidelman. Breidelman gets it over, but Mantell plays it. From an odd angle, Stoll trying to hit it down the cross, but it's blocked at the net by Alyssa Breidelman. She gets at the point. Saints lead 6-5. Amber Casey will come in to serve for the Fighting Saints. Casey with the crowd behind her, sends it away. Stoll, out of bounds. Casey Stoll hit at an awkward angle and couldn't find that line. Saints by a deuce. Massey, nice dig by Poole. Here's Hartnell, tipped and kept alive by Busker. Courage bumps it over. Breidelman to the back. Courage gets a bump it over, not what she wanted to do. It was a free ball for Breidelman. She recognized that the back line was completely empty. So she two-handed it and just forced it to that back line and found a nice spot on the court to make it 8-5. At the 8-point mark, the two sides will flip-flop. Saints now on the left. Amber Casey will serve up by 3 and just 7 points away from the victory. Amber Casey to the back center. Mantell to Overman, and Overman just gives it a light tap and forces it down. Nice play by Danielle Overman. We're simultaneously getting late, but with a long way to play. And the Trolls know it. Van Layton serves it away. Trying to put Trinity Christian back in a good position. Breidelman forces it across, but a good dig. And Mantell nearly run into each other out of the break. And they can't communicate and get it across. So that's a point to the Saints. Their lead is 9-6, and Trinity calls timeout. St. Francis is 6 points away from the victory. Technically, nothing can be won today other than a trip to the finals because the championship is not until Saturday. So a win today would not give them a conference championship, but the NAIA rules allow 2 teams from each conference to get the automatic bid to the NAIA tournament, the regular season conference winner and the tournament conference winner. Well, the regular season was a 3-way tie, so nobody clinches a bid. In that case, the 2 automatic bids go to the 2 championship game participants. And so that means whoever wins this game and whoever wins between IUSB and St. Xavier, they will play each other on Saturday night. But the game will really only have the pride of the conference championship on the line. Both teams will already have locked up the automatic bid. We're back underway here. Off of Joanna Nowicki, and it's an illegal touch by Nowicki, so it's a point to Trinity. And their deficit is just 2. The winner of this match will automatically be the higher seed and will host the championship game on Saturday. So that means if it's St. Francis, we'll be back here Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Van Layton to the back and out of bounds. That was a risky maneuver by Hartnell. He let it go rather than playing it. And it just barely missed that line. She had a chance to play it, but thought it was going out, and her faith was rewarded because it did indeed. 3-point lead for the Fighting Saints. And with Casey, can't keep it going. That's a kill for Danielle Overman. Both of these teams have had great seasons, fighting to keep them going. Casey to Carlo, and Layton is able to save it, and Verhage tosses it across. Casey to Nowicki, and she is fired up. St. Francis now just 4 points away. The trip to the tournament not out of the question even for the loser, but again, the winner gets it automatically. And nobody wants to have to sweat that out. Nice play by Conrad, still alive. Conrad again to Perinar, blocked. There goes Beamstra, who got her hands on it. Verhage is up there as well. So Trinity gets the point. But they're still down by 2. They need to run here. Conrad to Perinar. What it's basically come down to, over these last 2 sets, St. Francis has barely made a mistake. They are executing so perfectly. Trinity hasn't made too many mistakes either, but St. Francis is playing about as well right now as they have at any point all season, let alone all night. Carlo gets it over, and there is a mistake by Jessica Carlo. She gets it out of bounds. Trinity down by just 2. And both of these teams have played near flawless volleyball of late. Trinity has won 11 straight. St. Francis has won 6 in a row, and 10 of their last 11. Something's got to give tonight here in the 5th set. Casey Stoll taps it, and Perinar plays it for the Saints. Conrad to Hartnell, blocked. Still alive and over to the Saints side. Perinar two-hands it to the back line and Verhage. Casey Stoll is blocked. And he goes! That ball just barely gets the line, and the Saints get the point. And now they are just 2 away from the win. Timeout, Trinity Christian. We have seen a block on a Casey Stoll hit like that several times tonight, and it's always gone out of bounds. That was the first time they've been able to sneak it inside that sideline, and what a huge point it was. At this stage of the game, the difference between 12 to 11 with Trinity serving and 13 to 10 with St. Francis serving is absolutely enormous. And now Trinity needs to go on a big run to have any chance in this game. The senior Alyssa Bridleman, 15 kills today, and 4 errors. She's also got a block. She has stepped up in a big way in the latter stages of what has been a very tense match. Alice nearly snuck it in front of Massey. So geared up for that one. There was no stopping that big shot from Casey Stoll. Huge point for Trinity. Trinity cannot afford another mistake, though. That would set up match point for the Saints. Sarah Bushrow to serve. Gould from the backside. Hartnell hits the line. Good ball. Sets up match point for the Fighting Saints. Well, all night that play had been going to Trinity Christian. They had just barely been hitting the line. St. Francis had just barely been missing the line. But here in the 5th set, that trend has reversed. And now the crowd gets on their feet as the Saints are 1 point away from a trip to the championship. Overman, played by Hartnell. Hartnell into the net. Trinity back to within 2. Saints fans still on their feet. I don't think they're going to sit down the rest of the way. Serve is off from Van Layton. Rydell makes it. They have clinched a berth in the NAIA tournament for the first time in 5 years. And this was a thrilling come-from-behind victory today. It was not easy. They trailed 2 sets to 1. They were locked up in an extremely close 4th set in which it was within 1 point for either team pretty much the whole way. And then finally they went on a big one at the end to win 25-19. And this 5th set was close throughout, but St. Francis had the lead pretty much the entire way. It was never a big lead. It was never a comfortable lead, but they never really trailed at any significant stage in the game either. And that's a big win for the Fighting Saints, who now come out onto the floor and acknowledge their fans who have supported them all season, and especially throughout this CCAC tournament. The Saints are headed to the national tournament, and more importantly for right now, they've got a chance to win a championship immediately, coming up on Saturday night, right here at the Sullivan Center on Pat Quigley Court. They will take on either Indiana South Bend or St. Xavier for the conference championship, and that's going to be a big one. It should certainly be a fun one on Saturday night. And that match from St. Xavier may already be finished. I don't have a final yet, but for now, I will assume that either team could still win that one. And looking back at the matches that we've had between St. Francis and those 2 teams this year, we could have a very good one. The one time that they matched up with St. Xavier, the Saints beat the Cougars 3-1. That was back on October 8th. They played South Bend twice. They beat them here at St. Francis they beat them at South Bend on September 13th in 4 sets, and then they beat them here in Joliet on September 29th in 5 sets. So some really good matches between St. Francis and both St. Xavier and South Bend. So whichever team that's going to be coming here on Saturday, that should be a fun one for the championship on Saturday night. But St. Francis knows that they are going to the NAIA tournament. Big win tonight. Very exciting. Final score of the 5th set, 15-12. Let's look at the final totals from today. Trinity Christian was led by Casey Stoll, who had 18 kills. She also had 8 attacking errors. 47 assists for Tori Mantell. 20 digs led the way from Michelle Busker. Mantell had 19. St. Francis was led by their senior Alyssa Breidelman. 16 kills. She only had 4 errors in the game. 27 assists for Danielle Conrad. 26 for Amber Casey, which just about matches the ratio all season for those two. Alice had 26 digs. She is the school single season record holder. And Brooke Hartnell had 17 today. 3 blocks for Brooke Hartnell as well. Jessica Carlo had 5. Our final today, St. Francis wins 25-22, 13-25, 16-25, and then 25-19 a win in the 4th set, and 15-12 the win in the 5th and deciding set. Back here Saturday night, 7 o'clock for the conference championship. We hope that you're with us for that, because that should be a lot of fun as they go for the CCAC title, again for the first time since 2012. Thanks for tuning in to today. Back at it Saturday at 7. Until then, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis. Good night all.